Howdy team, Jonty here and Flynn from BFast tonight or this evening. We're just going to really chat about our what 2025 was like in terms of business. So, starting a business, the pitfalls, the things that went wrong, the things that did go right, and just a little bit, a bit of a deeper dive or behind the scenes into what 2025 was like. Sort of what we've got on the cards.
Yeah, so obviously starting a nutrition brand earlier in the year in 2025 it was all pretty exciting for a start, really. Obviously starting in winter was pretty tough for business and sales, but it gave us a good chance to, set up packaging, test products, and get a bit of a product line out before summer came around. So that was good. One thing we did notice was just how long everything takes to, from an idea to actually being able to sell it. So testing the product and making sure a lot of people test it, getting feedback, sort of refining it, and then from there ordering packaging, designing it, obviously waiting for it to come, and then having to actually sell and market that product. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in a few weeks. It's more months, and that was probably one of the main hurdles early on that we didn't probably expect. Just would have a good idea, have a good product, and then trying to get it in stores and get it for sale was quite a slow process. And then the other main thing that probably took us a bit by surprise, we knew what we're signing up for, was juggling, having lots of hats and having lots of different jobs to do just between the two of us. Obviously, we started on the side. We're working full time, so we're producing the product ourselves. We're packaging it. We're sending out all the orders. We're doing all the content. If we sponsor events, we have to go to the events and dish out the products, and so there's lots of different hats we have to wear, and that just, alongside work and training, it just filled up every other hour of the day, which was good fun, but it's definitely taught us a few things there of how to manage our time and what jobs we sort of enjoy and what we don't.
Yeah, and then I suppose I'll flow on from the reality of 2025 and talk a wee bit about some of the challenges in more depth, and some of the mistakes. I guess mistakes is a tough word because you've got to kind of make them to learn and grow. But a few of them was, one of the big ones for me is probably how long it takes to manually package these gels. That's probably been a challenge, and for both of us, I suppose. It's after work you'll be in the shed packaging gels one by one because we haven't yet got a machine that's automatically pumps them out. So that's been a bit of a challenge to sort of if you added your time in and then your ingredients and stuff, trying to see if it's going to be worth it. But knowing in the future that you've got the opportunity to have a more automated system is pretty exciting. Another thing we've sort of had is with our packaging, trying to get them correct and communicating to Asian or other countries to get the packaging there's a bit of work involved in that. And then obviously software. So I think one of our highlight ones is probably having the new black currant ones. There was some discrepancy within the ingredients that wasn't updated or wasn't put through and updated on the Google software. And then we ordered, what was it, 1,000? Yeah, 1,000 gel packets that were wrong. But in saying that, it's good to have those things go wrong, because the next time you do it, you're going to double, triple check make sure that they're good to go, and make sure that the Google Drive's bloody working. And I think probably a big one as well for us is just promoting our story and being confident while saying it, having like a clear or some clarity around what our background is, what our story is, and try not to let other brands influence how we run it. It's pretty easy to look at other brands and try to emulate what they've got, but if there's gold right in front of you with the own story that you're running, and sort of back that. And for us, it's probably like the grassroots honey gel from Central Otago. You can't go too wrong in promoting that. And then it's just being confident, just our beginnings, what we're after, why we're trying to sell it to people. And then just how much time and energy it takes to do things. Like examples would be social media posts. Like it's pretty easy to put up a half-pie shit sort of post, but to make it a proper, nice, polished post, takes time and energy, and everything with products, talking, emailing retail shops, packaging them in a nice way that people are going to get it and be like, well, this is a cool product, all of that stuff. Adds up. Is there any challenges or things that highlight for 2025? You, Flynn?
Obviously the time spent doing things, and a few of those really niggling mistakes, but probably more on the storytelling as well. Is obviously it's easy to say what your story is, but actually trying to get it on an Instagram post or get it on a box on the shelf so people can then understand that when they're walking past or scrolling past, and trying to really sell the brand and sell the story. It's easy to have a good story. It's easy to talk about it, but actually getting it onto paper and having a nice, detailed, clear, selling point. That's actually putting it to paper is probably one of the tougher things I sort of realised, and we're still trying to figure that one out too.
It's probably the easiest one on paper. It's probably the one that you kick to the side and say like that's the easiest, but it's probably the most important. And for me, for both of us, it's probably been the hardest day.
Definitely. So moving on, a few lessons that we've learned is probably just having a strong, consistent product. It's easy to come up with a lot of ideas for new flavors and what's the new different products that we can try that might be easy to make. But then trying to scale it back and go, actually, what sells? What should we be putting our time into? And looking at sales, a lot of the things that do sell are more of the standard honey gels now, or just a single bar. People love that, and a lot of people are moving back to those, just a standard caffeine gel or a Clover or Manuka. They're some of the best sellers. So not trying to overload ourselves with working, just trying to have a nice product line, half a dozen different flavors. And the other one would be trying to streamline things. So manufacturing, obviously we're taking a few steps to tidy that up this year. Packaging, deliveries, just small things like getting pre-made boxes takes a lot of time doing deliveries. So we've brought a printer, doing all our NZ Post labeling from home. That's definitely going to help. Just trying to find a few things that we can do a bit quicker, faster, and still have that quality outcome is probably one of the biggest things we'll probably take into 2026.
And looking into 2026 as well, it's probably conservatively trying to grow, so not trying to pump things out too fast, but obviously having a nice steady increase. Winter's coming, so it's probably a great time to sort of regather our thoughts after the summer and, see what we need to improve on. Things might be a little bit slower. Hopefully they're not too slow, and then try and regather thoughts, get 2026 summer / 2027 summer ready for ready again. And along with that, so as of now, there's a gel machine coming from China, so it's going to produce gels a lot quicker than hand, so 40 to 60 gels per minute, whereas there's probably 40 to 60 gels per hour previously. So that's going to unlock a heap of time to do the other things that we really should be prioritizing rather than sitting there hand filling gels. So that's going to be quite exciting in this new year. And then with that, having more product ready, more consistency with our product, packaging, everything looking more streamlined, then we can really nail the retail shops. So obviously South Island's pretty well covered in terms of our reach. So all corners of the South Island are pretty well touched, but sort of filling in those corners a bit more, and then obviously venturing into the North Island, which will be cool. And then testing the waters there to see if, the marketing, what sort of marketing we need. If the gels just sell without people knowing, that sort of stuff we'll soon find out. So, yeah, it's going to be quite exciting, sort of getting into some new territories and really nailing down on those processes. So, yeah, is there any final thoughts on 2026 looking ahead?
No, I did have a question for you. It was more talking about getting into shops. What, obviously, the bulk of our, I guess, income or revenue, before December, since when we started, was probably online. Looking ahead, where do you sort of see, the bulk of our revenue coming from now that we are in a couple of stores?
I still see our online orders being a good majority, but I feel like as we grow in that retail area, it's going to probably swing more towards the retail, which is going to have some good benefits because it's just going to have a more broad reach. Online's quite competitive, and I mean, some people just go into shops to look for their nutrition. They don't bother looking online, so that's going to be another person we can sort of tap into, or another field of people we can tap into. So yeah, I think sales will slowly start swaying towards the retail, which is going to be exciting, especially now that our production line is going to be a lot more efficient.
And with that, do you think there's any other things sort of we'll have to look at upgrading as well, in terms of, obviously not manufacturing it, but maybe more the distribution side?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose when you increase one area of your business, like manufacturing, then you're going to always find a weak or a slower or a less efficient spot. So maybe how we distribute after the increase in sales and stuff, or trying to find companies that courier at a lower price, or just in general that whole that string of events. I'm not sure you're more keyed up on that distribution area, but is there, if from your side of things, is there things that that will need to be improved once these retail shops start clicking the order button?
Yeah, I think definitely just something to, so we can pre-package a lot of products. There is quite a bit of time, obviously, making the gels, but packaging them too and getting them shop ready. Maybe having a shelf ready box that we can, is pre-made, that we don't have to sticker up, and we can just have it, load them in, ready to go, and they're shelf ready when they get into the stores. So probably something like that I think we'll have to look at. Then obviously that's quite it's obviously going to be quite a big cost too. Working on lower orders, which we've already noticed, haven't we, with a few purchases from overseas. Low order numbers, obviously a higher cost, and then the shipping cost as well can be huge. Sometimes half or even the same price as what you're purchasing. That'll be interesting how we try to scale that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that whole making the whole line more efficient. So yeah.
But yeah, no, thanks. Thanks for watching. We're going to try do a few more of these behind the scenes videos of how the business is running, and we'll come up with a few ideas to sort of take it behind the scenes. So thanks.